This is The Truth, a series in which I play through games to find out what they're really like for a severely average gamer. Today, we start off our journey as Claire Redfield, heading to Raccoon City, looking for your brother Chris. But all we find when we get there is gore, guts, and a bloody good time. We're finding out the truth. Resident Evil 2. So the first thing to get out of the way with this game then is the fact that it clearly looks incredible. The graphics are stunning. Look at the bike, look at this bike. The graphics are amazing. Apart from sometimes it does this thing where zombies in the background look like they're loading inside a PlayStation 2 hidden somewhere at the back of a cupboard. But that can be forgiven just because of the sheer beauty of everything else. So, like I said, we're Claire Redfield, heading out to find our brother, Chris. You might recognise him. We arrive towards Raccoon City and you immediately realise things are a bit f***ed up. You bump into Leon, the dashingly handsome block of cheddar cheese, and immediately get separated in a car crash. Should have died. You're then separated, but you both go to the police station, and the police station is my favourite bit of the game. But before we dig deep into RPD, you might have remembered in one of my recent videos, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, I mentioned about franchises that just perfectly manipulate the use of sound. I mentioned a couple of franchises on there, but Resident Evil is also on that list. Back to this mad police station. Now the police station's my favourite for a few reasons, partly because your boy Marv's there, and Marv is the true hero of the story. He is a legend.
Marvin Branner.
But also because the police station used to be a museum, and rather than clear it out and clean it up and turn it into a fully functioning police station, they seem to have kept a lot of the quirks of what made it a museum. Well, not even a museum really, just sort of like loads of traps and puzzles. But the puzzling in this game is quite light puzzling, but it's the perfect level of puzzling for me. It's easy enough so that when you realise you've been doing it wrong for 15 minutes, you feel pretty stupid about doing it wrong because it was easy. And it's not too hard like what most people would probably call medium difficulty puzzling, which results in me just sort of mashing the buttons until I happen to hit them in the right sequence to be able to get through it. So Claire puzzles her way through the police station. It provides the perfect setting for the peak of the game. You start to be introduced to new enemies, zombies, lickers, dogs, and you start to upgrade your weaponry, find new weapons, learn about combining ammo, and the menu system in this game is fantastic. It's one of those nostalgic type things, like the way that the Resi menu is set out sort of sends my nostalgia gauge flicking. And the lighting throughout the police station gives them the opportunity to really put on a powerhouse display of the body physics that their new engine is capable of. I mean, it's game-breakingly good. And there's endless positive things that I could be saying about this game. There are moments that are genuinely terrifying. There are moments that are genuinely outrageous. It has them cool noises that come out of the controller when you do stuff. It forces you to be intelligent with your storage space, keeps the atmosphere tense. And generally when I'm playing a game, I can tell how good it is by how mad my notes look at that point. And look at these.
Sherry, can you hear me?
And just when you think you're getting used to the carnage, this guy turns up and this motherfucker won't leave you alone. And then the game's just tense as hell again all the time. But don't worry about it, because he gets what's coming to him. And Resident Evil is probably one of the few games that I just seem to rub my character against the wall to see if I can find any items. So Claire meets a little girl called Sherry. You get to play as her for a bit, which is just savage because she doesn't have any weapons. You take out a few people to G-Virus, bump into the woman who's got the cure, Sherry's mum, who's also a bit savage.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
You take out a couple of big boy bosses, find yourself a minigun, and shred this motherfucker up, and all is well that ends well.
It's okay.
The end. Or not, because then you gotta live the whole f***ing thing again, and go through that whole ordeal with Leon from his side of the story, which you need to get your head around the fact that it's not running at the same time, it's an alternate version of the same story. Leon's got different weapon sets, you do a lot of the same things, but there are also different storylines. You bump into Ada, you have this sort of romantic love story going on with her, but also she betrays you, and that bit's really good. And Ada's got one of the scanners that Batman had in Arkham Asylum, so I don't know where she got that. You take out some of the same big bad boy bosses, you take out some new big bad boy bosses. You find out what it was like for Leon on the other end, and then finally, all is actually well, that ends well. So without further ado, let's give this game its official loot box ranking of goodness. And hands down, not only is this one of the best survival horror games I've ever played, I genuinely think it's one of the best games I've ever played. So, Resident Evil 2, congratulations. You are the first 5 loot box ranked game, and to celebrate, we're going to give you a lap of honour, so take it away. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe.